And as both sides keep talking, one thing is clear. Most of the voters really want Congress to reach a deal before the deadline. A new Gallup poll shows Americans think by a 2-to-1 margin that going over the fiscal cliff will hurt their own personal finances. That includes 75% of Republicans and 58% of Democrats. So there's a large number of people in those poll numbers you can see there, including Republicans, think that this will negatively impact our personal finances. The question is whether politicians are looking at that. So with us now is Chief Washington correspondent and host of Face the Nation, Bob Schieffer. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
So do you see any profiles and courage in terms of both sides coming together to get this thing done?
Not yet. Not just yet. Well, I was just listening to the speaker, Ms. Pelosi.
Yeah.
And it seems to me what she was saying was if the Republicans will agree to increase the tax rates, they will think about making some sort of cuts in Medicare later. Maybe I'm wrong when I heard her say that, but it sounded to me like she's saying, oh, we've already done the cuts in the entire program.
Cuts, yeah.
But they're all saying the same thing. I'll do this if you do that. Mm-hmm. If you do that, I'll do this. How do you break through that? I mean,
well, I think number one, what is important is not what is said in public, but what they're saying to one another behind the scenes. What has to happen, it seems to me, they have to make some sort of an agreement in private and then come out together and announce it. I think this continuing to come out and say, we'll do this if you'll go ahead and do that first. I don't think they'll ever get there that way. I mean, maybe I'm just a cockeyed optimist. I still think that neither side will be stupid enough to let us go over this fiscal cliff and all that entails, even though in the immediate days to come, it's not going to be a catastrophe. But this is an awful thing if they let this happen. And it means that everybody's taxes are going to go up. Nothing will be solved. And the perception of it around the world is the dangerous part, because what it says is we can't get our fiscal house in order.
You know, Speaker Boehner accuses the president of slow walking this process because he's not putting forward new spending cuts. But in some ways, doesn't the president hold most of the cards? Because going over the fiscal cliff, everybody's taxes would go up. Do you think that that's true, or he knows he's also got to try and get something done before the new year?
I think all of that is true. But, I mean, it goes back to this. I mean, it's the old thing. Russell Long, who used to be the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, he had it exactly right. He said it's always, don't tax him, don't tax me, tax the fellow behind the tree. It's always figuring out some way that you can tell people it's the other guys that were going to make the tax increases, and now it's the other guys that are going to feel the cuts. So they're not there yet. But what happens behind these closed doors, then when they both come out together, we'll know they've got something. Until then, we're right where we are.
Thanks, Bob Schieffer, thank you.